Maybe you know a person who, when you speak with them, they just keep going on and on and on, and you're not really sure what you can do to get them to stop talking so you can get a word in, as we say, edgewise. Or maybe you have figured out over time that you can be that person that's a little long-winded, that you're not great at getting your point across. This can certainly hold us back in our career, for sure. People look for this very specifically during the interview process. Can this person make a point succinctly? This doesn't work very good to be long-winded when we're in leadership meetings with senior executives. They want things quick and to the point. They don't want to just hear someone drone on and on for the sake of their own time. It can be very, very inefficient to just keep babbling on. So, what do we do if we're that person that's long-winded? Keep watching, and I'm going to tell you a really slick little method that could help, and then ground us maybe in some scriptures that'll give us a foundation for even wanting to change. Hi, my name is Shawn Sommerkamp, and this is Motivationeer Christian Coaching. Okay, I want to start with the actual passages that have really encouraged me over the years to be careful how much I say. There are many. I'm only going to read a couple, and then I'll reference the others for you to maybe go look up on your own. The first one is Proverbs 10:19. These are all going to be very familiar, but they're powerful. When there are many words, wrongdoing is unavoidable, but one who restrains his lips is wise. Proverbs 17:28. Even a fool, when he keeps silent, is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he is considered prudent. And then Proverbs 18:2, a fool does not delight in understanding, but in revealing his own mind. So here are a couple of the other ones. Actually, let me quote one more, Proverbs 13:3. One who guards his mouth protects his life. One who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. You can also find James 1:19, Proverbs 21:23, Psalm 141:3, Proverbs 29:20, and Matthew 12:36. There are quite a few more, but I just wanted to start with that before getting actually to some of the nuances of what we can do, tactically speaking. Okay, the really geeky, over-technical word for people who talk too much, excessive talkativeness, is loquacity. It's not something that you hear very often, thankfully, and people who have had brain damage that can't help talking too much, that's known as logorrhea, believe it or not. But for the rest of us, there's a temptation to talk too much for lots of different reasons. Sometimes it's social anxiety. We keep thinking we're going to lose the person. I did do a video on this channel about not saying things like, does that make sense? Because it just shows that there's a social anxiety in us when we're talking and we end our little sentence, does that make sense? That's kind of a giveaway. If you're saying that a lot, chances are you're probably sometimes talking too much. But the other reasons are, at least this is for me, I relate to it very well. Sometimes people don't ask you what you think, and you're wanting to say, and you don't want to be rude. So when you get to a time when someone does ask you what you think, you kind of get overexcited, and you're like, finally, someone wants to know what I have to say. That's been me in my past. I've worked on that a lot. If I could work on that more, please feel free to tell me in the comments. I have found, however, though, people aren't really wanting to know what I have to say. What we want to do when we're entering a conversation is realize that what people are wanting from the conversation is to better themselves, to gain understanding, to increase their wisdom and knowledge. It's not because, wow, this person has so much knowledge, I've got to find out what's going on in their brain. Yeah, does that exist sometimes? Yep. But it's an extraordinary circumstance. Like if I got a chance to speak to someone like Gandhi, I would want to pick his brain for a long period of time and just hear what he has to say. I love to listen to some lecturers. I could listen to them for hours. Like I've said many times, Jordan Peterson, I've listened to his 15-part lecture series on the Old Testament psychology 3 times all the way through. Each lecture is 2.5 hours long, and I listen to it, But that is very, very rare. When we're talking to somebody, if we think they're excited to hear what we have to say, really what we want to stop and do is realize, okay, they're wanting to add to their learning and knowledge. They want to become a better person. They want to socialize even, which makes them feel good. And the best way in that situation to help them achieve that is to ask them questions. Get to know them. Ask them to talk more about themselves and what they know, so that if there is something that you happen to know that could help, you could know more succinctly what it is that you could volunteer by way of information. And there's a technique that I've heard of. I've not ever used it, but I do think it's very smart. It's called the traffic light method. And that's basically as follows. When you're starting to speak, you get the green light for about 30 seconds. That's it. That means the person you're speaking to is very receptive and listening to all the nuances of what you have to say. Once you pass that 30-second mark, you've now entered into the caution zone, the yellow light, where they might not want to keep hearing you, or you've made a point that if you keep going too long, they're going to forget it. Because I did in another video, I forget which one now, our short-term memory only lasts about 25 seconds. So that cautionary period means if you're speaking into that 30-second and beyond mark, really be careful to not go beyond 30 additional seconds. That gives you about a minute of speak time. Then, once you've passed that 60-second mark, you've entered into the red zone. And sometimes conversations, it is important to run that red light, so to speak. You can even tell sometimes in a conversation if someone is really actively listening, it's okay to kind of run that red light. But most of the time it's not. Now, if we're in the workplace, in a work situation, with a bunch of colleagues around, we're talking about an important topic, the person has asked for our input, like our boss, let's say, boy, this is the time we really want to get very good at keeping our statements as brief as possible. A great practice to get into. It's a form of executive presence. I did a video on this channel called Brevity as an Executive Skill. I do recommend you watch it. This is a piece of it, but some of that video is going into keeping short summaries in email and our presentations. But when we speak, think about the traffic light method. Green light for 30, cautionary in the next 30, and then once you've passed that 1 minute mark, you're in the red zone. Only run that red light if they're really actively engaged. Now, if you do have a hard time keeping track internally of what 60 seconds looks like, then get a close friend or a group of close friends, a brother or sister in Christ or a colleague that you respect and you have a good relationship with. And when you talk with them, have them raise their finger when they want you to start slowing down. This takes a lot of humility and trust with that other person for sure. Or if you're on a Zoom call, you can start a little stopwatch and then look at it every so often to see if you're past the 60-second mark. We really want to get great at this. It's very exciting when someone asks our opinion. It doesn't happen a lot. And we think they want to know more about us. What they're really wanting to know is knowledge that we have that can help them be better. So if you like this, let me know below in the comments. If you have another technique that's helped you over the years, please share it. I'd want to know. And yes, if you do think these videos are too long that I can be loquacious, please also let me know that. I'll make the videos even shorter. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for 2 new videos each week. Tell me in the comments below about your career situation and I'll make a video for you with a shout out. You can also become a member at Motivationeer.com. Your career is not just a way to make a living, it's a way to transform the world.